So welcome all to the ninth meeting already of 3DVista. We just had the first 15 minutes warming up a bit. Let's see. The schedule is to talk about deep linking until 16:15. That's the idea, but we can see how it goes. And then next, we're going to talk about JavaScript and see, well, what people have been thinking of, what kind of ideas, what people already have managed to do with it. And then last but not least, reviewing the community. So what we're gonna, what do we think of all the things that we've been trying out, the forum, Slack, then the Zoom meetings, and all these things. And then if there's any room to improve, what's good, what's wrong, and so on. So that's what we're gonna talk about today, kind of. So first of all, well, the deep linking possibilities. I don't know if you guys have seen the update and have already played around with it a bit. Like yes, no, not really.
Not playing with the deep linking.
Okay. Does everyone know what the deep linking means?
No.
I guess a few do, but also a few not. So, so let's see how. Okay. So deep linking is let's see. I'm going to share my screen. Deep linking is basically this part where you say, I'm going to like start the tour from the first link, just as you would start any regular virtual tour. You will just get this first panorama. But within this tour, there are like about, I think, 40 panoramas. So sometimes it would be nice to start at a specific panorama, maybe in the bedroom, maybe at the living room right over there, maybe in the kitchen. So in order to do that, you can change the link. So here, the first above part, you can say, yeah. Question mark, and then media name is, and then the panorama name. So I know that panorama 17 is going to send me to the living room. So now when I send this link to someone, I'll send a link starting in the living room. So sometimes that's more beneficial, especially with large tours. You don't want to have people always starting from the beginning. Or you have to make a ton of tours for all different starting points. So you don't have to do that. Instead of that, you can use deep links to start at a specific point. If there's any questions in between, just tell me.
Yeah.
Is this also with the normally we get the startup screen?
You mean the loading screen?
Yeah, the loading screen.
Yeah. Like the first time you start sending the link, it will also show the loading screen. So this link, I'm just going to close it and open it again. And you see, well, this is, I disabled the loading screen text, but you can still see the background. So this is all the loading part, as you can see.
I have a question.
Yeah.
About this. Before we had a link for a tour, right? So now it means that each panorama's got a special link.
Yeah.
And that you can get deep inside. What it means deep linking is like you can get inside your link and find each element with a link. Is it?
Yeah, that's coming next.
Okay.
So, yeah. So right now I can go to the living room and have this with the loading going on. Yeah. So now let's say I have panorama 15, for example, and this is going to send me to the next panorama. But as you can see, it's loading again.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason that might not be nice, because when you're already inside a tour, you don't want to like refresh the whole tour again. So in order to change that, you can change the question mark to a hashtag. So after the name of your virtual tour, and I'll send these things that you have to know about this in the chat.
Cool.
Is there what I was missing? Is there a skip intro? Do we have something like that?
So, like right now, the first time it will show the intro, but now if I change the link back to 17, for example, it's going straight to it. And if I change it to, I don't know, 16.
Ah, cool.
So this means that if you do this right, you can also use these deep links as URLs inside your virtual tour. Yeah, you might be thinking, okay, why is that necessary? Because I can do add action, open panorama, and just go straight to that panorama without all this difficult deep linking. But it might be useful because what 3DVista has been introducing now is a thing that when you open a panorama, it is showing you a certain side of the panorama. So in this case, you're looking at wait, I'm going to go to 17, it's a better example. So in this case, you're gonna look to this view. I'm just going to refresh the whole tour. So close and open it again. So I'm very sure that's the starting point. Yes, so this. But I don't want viewers to watch this kind of, this part of the tour. I want them to look at, well, for example, these magazines. So I made a hotspot, an invisible hotspot, and I called the hotspot magazines. Mm-hmm. So now what I can do, wait, I have it here. So you can add this to the deep link, and overlay name is, and then hotspot name. So I copy that, I paste that, and now this hotspot name I'm going to call magazines, because I named this already inside 3DVista magazines. So now it's going to look at this. So I might look to something else. I'm gonna look at it again. Yeah, so, but I also have a hotspot called books. Or book, I'm not sure.
Oh, you can try it.
yeah, book it is. So it's not books. So now it's gonna look to the books. I have something like turntable. And now it's going to look at the turntable. So the idea behind this is that, well, first of all, you can say, okay, I'm going to send a link to someone. I'm going to send a link to someone specifically looking at this part of the panorama. So I can just copy this link now and put it in the chat with you guys. Let's see. Zoom, come on. Okay, I'm struggling with Zoom now. Yes, Alt H. So you can see there, and you can change the word turntable to anything else. like the book or magazines and stuff like that, and you can play around with this yourself. So I'm not completely sure if I have this synchronized on this project. If not, we're just going to recreate this. Yeah, no, it's not. So I'm going to recreate this. Maybe that's even better also to show you guys how it's going. Are there any questions so far?
No.
No? Okay. I'm just checking.
You made you made a hotspot. Yes, the hotspot is transparent, not visible.
Yeah.
But you named the hotspot, and the hotspot actually direction on the panorama. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll show you.
Okay.
So
what I read in the release notes is that there's also a possibility to use your own pitch.
To use what? Oh yes, your own pitch. Yes.
Yeah, your own pitch.
Yeah. Have you managed to fix that?
No, I didn't play with it at the moment.
Yeah, because I was playing around with it, but I couldn't manage so far. But maybe I should play a bit more with it. But I thought this is like way more easy to have instead of doing all these pitches.
Yeah, the problem is how do you know the yaw and how do you know the pitch? So
yeah,
you need to guess.
Definitely. So that's why I think the hotspot names are way easier to use. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Let's go to the magazines. So I make a hotspot, click, click, click. I make this thickness to 0, transparency to 0.01. And I'm going to call this not polygon, but magazines.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think you can even like turn this off to make it completely invisible. And so now there's a hotspot magazines. Now I copy this, paste it. I'm going to place this on the TV. Well, okay, yeah, this is
what maybe is it's easier to use an empty image.
Yeah, maybe.
Use what? Easier to use what?
An empty PNG.
Yeah, I have one already here.
Yeah.
So it's just well, just Photoshop, basically 100 by 100 image, transparency on, and then save it as a PNG. So you basically don't see anything. Yeah.
And you can put it in the middle of the TV, so
yeah,
should be working.
Exactly. Let's try. So here we go. Copy paste. Well, this is going to be the turntable.
This is way more easy than your one pitch.
Yeah, true. Well, and it kind of depends also, like if you want to do additional things like making something blink, because that's what I was playing around with. That when you are going to be when you use the link, that it will blink some kind of like flashy thing, but just for a few seconds.
Was that the polygon thing?
Yeah, that's what I tried with the polygon thing.
Yeah,
but
I don't think that's going to work with empty PNG.
No, so yeah, but the empty PNG is in this case much easier to just point things to the right direction. So this was the Empire building. If I'm right, I might be wrong about it, but I think it is. So, well, and that's I think the nice thing about this deep links, because you know when you're basically looking inside a panorama, you're like, oh yes, a house, yeah, nice, okay, so yeah, let's go to the next room, but you don't see actually what's in there. Like little details that might be very important, like the view that you can see the empire building. You might not want to miss that. Like if you know it's that building, then it's like, whoa. So you can trigger people with these things inside places. But yeah, let's go back. So I have these 4 ones: magazines, TV, turntable, empire building. Now I want to go to the skin. Oh no, wait, let's just keep it simple first. Always overcomplicating things. So control preview. Let's check this out.
So you could use, instead of the question mark, always the hashtag.
Yeah, true. So I'm not sure what the benefit is of the question mark, but
maybe the programmers are going to tell us.
yeah, that might be better. Yeah, well, I think it has to do with sometimes you need to refresh instead of directly going to a point, because when I was trying this out and I was in a different panorama and I used a specific deep link, then it was only rotating to this point, but not to the correct panorama. And that was happening later. So I thought maybe I'm going to use a question mark in this case to have this refresh. But yeah, that's a bit complicated, but just know that you have these two, and yeah, always, well, just use this one, I guess. We got the local host index.htm, disable background preload. This is what?
Oh, yeah, that's the background preload. Yeah,
it's always happening when you do this in the preview of 3DVista. And here it's already making a hashtag. Media name is panorama. I think that has to do with, now the deep linking is there. They also show it when you use the local host. So let's try. I constantly forget focus overlay name is. So, and focus overlay name is, let's say, TV. So now it's doing something strange. I should see magazines. So magazines is working. Oh yeah, now so it's still something to figure out why it wasn't working the first time, but now it's working. Turntable and empire building. So
nice.
Yeah. And what's nice also about this is, like, when you have a website, for example, I don't know, if I would have a real estate website on this, and you have different pages, like on the living room, for example, you might want to include an embedded virtual tour of the living room, and then starting to look at this empire building, or maybe the TV. So you can use this deep link as well within the embed code. And that means that your virtual tour is going to be 10 times more valuable, because you're not only starting from the starting point and like you have to figure out how to get to a specific point. No, you show all the information you've gathered within your virtual tour is going to be presented at specific starting points, depending on what kind of pages you have on your website, I think. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, what do you guys think so far?
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, I hope I'm not talking too much, or like it's not getting understandable anymore.
No, it's very clear.
Okay.
You make some example, you show us what it is.
Okay.
How we could use it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean.
So now let's see something else. We have these things. You can do this on embedding this on websites with different deep link codes. So I could, yeah. Let's see.
Sorry, I have a question, Ronald.
Of course.
So if I give them, if I give people this deep link, and so I can control which one he is going to start, and then you can go through for all the rest of the panorama.
You can go to what?
Go through all the other areas.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's great.
Yeah.
Ronald, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that this might be a stupid question? Do you think that we can use this deep linking to get some sort of better results, SEO results or something? Do you see some connection between that?
Well, a few days ago, I also got the question about this SEO. I don't have the knowledge yet to see how impactful it is. We've discussed about SEO, that it's possible to show up in the Google results, but I haven't seen it myself yet, and I haven't played around with it, so I might not be the right guy to answer this question.
Okay.
I have to figure this out myself, but maybe someone else knows if this is affecting the SEO, improving it.
I don't think it would improve the SEO, to be honest, because the SEO is just when you're clicking certain. If you go into the tour,
yeah,
then it's going to count for your SEO. But yeah, it's for the optimization. I don't really think this will improve the SEO.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's no such thing as a stupid question.
No.
It's just more like if you wouldn't ask, that's, I guess, more stupid. So thank you. Any more questions? Okay, let's move on. So we have this now. You can embed it on different pages and so on. Now, something that might be nice, if what I was thinking, if you have like within the skin some overlay saying like, hey, have you seen these things within the panorama, showing like these specific things, the viewer. I thought that would be cool. So I was playing around with it. And to do that, let's see, I'm going to make a container here quickly. Add some buttons. Yeah, it's Dutch, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's a button. So we have these 4 buttons. Let's say this is going to lead to the TV. We want to say, okay, so when you click on a button saying, maybe this is saying, okay, have you seen TV? So you click on it, open URL, and now instead of this is going to be TV. Now everything from the hashtag, including the hashtag, you copy and paste it here. And then you might say on click or whatever. And then open in the same iframe, because the same iframe is basically the virtual tour. And you want to, well, make the whole virtual tour watch this part of the tour. So let's test this out. Yeah, so this is the weird thing. It's first doing this correct, how do you say, view, and then the panorama. So in this case, I would probably use, if I'm in another panorama, the question mark. But if I'm going to show this only within a specific panorama, I probably use the hashtag. So I'm just doing turntable. Let's try again. Now it's working. So in this way, I can also do the same with these buttons. Let's say, so here, add action, open URL, turntable, and the same here. Since what was the last one we had? I forgot.
Empire the building?
Oh yes. Thanks.
Oh.
Empire building. So let's preview this. So yeah, the first one is not working properly, but then these are working. So what I would probably do to make this look more smooth, I would probably have a button first stating to this specific panorama, and then say, okay, this container, I will call this pano 17 container, make it disappear. Let's see, this is going to.
Could you do the preview?
Yeah.
And but just let the container show, because I think it's it's a delay.
I think so too. So let's see.
If you just show the container and do it again at starting point, let's see what's happening if you just wait.
You mean like in panorama?
Just let the container show in the with the information buttons.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
I just think it's a delay, so it opens the.
Okay, so you mean right now preview?
Yeah, did you show the container in the skin?
Yes.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
So here, show height components, pano 17 container show, done, preview. So what do you mean? Like go right now to pano 17, right?
I wanted to see what happened if you have the container now open in this panorama. So
Okay.
at start. So see what it does. I think it's some sort of delay. So it loads the first panorama first and then goes to the.
Yeah. Yeah, you mean it focuses first and then goes to the panorama.
Okay. Could you show the container?
Yeah.
In the preview.
Yeah, I'm opening that one now. So, oh shit. Yeah, I forgot this one.
Okay, there it is.
So
Tour is loading if your container, and now you could press one of the buttons. Let's see if it's.
So I think like what's going to happen now again is like it's first rotating the screen and then it's going to load the panorama.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it rotates. And so yeah, this is probably a bug report and something to send to 3DVista.
Yeah.
Ask if they can fix it. So that's why I would probably do this thing with you just go around and you have a button Pano 17. Let's go there first. And then, oh yeah, it should show
Yeah,
up.
but it would be. I think in when you're doing this in a house or in a living, you want to address the key features of the house. So
Exactly.
I don't think that you want that per room. So I think you want it per house.
Yeah, so you mean like one skin element saying general
With all the highlights. So look at the
Exactly.
kitchen, look at the, and I think we need to send out a bug report for that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
because-
strange that it rotates first and then does the panorama switch.
Yeah.
So, can I ask a very stupid question? I love this.
No, stupid question.
What's the difference of putting the name, what you did,
Mhm.
and putting just the hotspot link, and then you get to the TV with through the hotspot, and not having to put the link, what you were putting there? You know, you put
No.
you were taking the link from the from up there from the
From here.
yeah.
This is what you mean.
What the difference of putting the internet link
Mm-hmm.
than just giving the hotspot?
Yes. So you mean like if I remove this,
Yeah.
and say let's open panorama, and say probably panorama 17,
Mm-hmm.
and then well you can also do this here. Yeah.
No.
And then
just
make
by
people look
creating
at the TV.
This is different. This is like to put a viewer somewhere. But I was more thinking about just giving the link of the hotspot you created. You were putting some hotspots, right? TV, magazine, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And so you just could say when I do this, when I click here, it opens this hotspot instead of you were taking the name from up there where you overlay name focus blah blah blah. You don't need this, do you?
Oh, you mean you don't need to put this container here? You can also do it without the container and just change the link.
No, this is not what I mean. Anyway,
Okay. What do you mean?
No, I thought you could just use it like with a yeah, just like you created, but instead of taking the name from the local host, blah blah blah, index, you were actually you were putting a not hotspot. You did the hotspot, but after you did the link, like internet. You don't need this.
You don't actually. This is the same procedure when you have your web page. So everything on your web page, you don't have, and if you want to actually point if you want to point something on your web page, when you actually on your web page, you'll never use the complete link. You just use the host name, actually the domain name / the extension. So here is the same point. So you use just the / and extension of your hotspot, because when you're changing the host name, like say domain names, that always be pointed on the same point. So if you put the completely link, like your domain name or whatever you want to have, and if you change domain name, if you put your tour on some other hosting name, you'll not get the same point. the same position. So it's always like on the web pages, you're putting the slash after domain name and everything else. So that always you'll be pointing on the same point, or on the same let's say on the web page, we usually use that like if you want to hook something, like you have an anchor, so you have a slash and everything else. If you put the complete link, what you actually mentioned, and if you change the hosting, that you never get the same point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's what you want to ask.
Not really, but it's a good answer anyway.
That was your question?
No. But it's interesting what you answered. No, it was just like I didn't understood why you were putting this open URL action open URL, and you were putting the name of the URL instead of just doing open the hotspot, which we do normally.
yeah, so you mean
what the benefit, just to understand
your action, like to show, for example, this one. This is showing, wait, no. Let's go to this one. So the second button is showing the turntable. You have a different idea of doing this, right? So I can remove this. You can say add action, correct? And then what would you do?
So just to go to the open panorama, open hotspot, et voilà.
Open hotspot. Okay.
Hide the hotspot, no? Voilà.
So hide hotspot or
No.
open hotspot?
Go to the hotspot. Doesn't exist?
No.
This action?
No.
Oh, we were doing this.
So
I never use this open URL to move in the panorama. I always had this hotspot and say, trigger, go to this hotspot, et voilà. Well, but it's interesting to understand how you did it.
I'm very curious how you're planning to do this then.
I'm gonna check and show you next time if I can find it, because it's a long time I didn't use it.
Yeah, I know, but that's very interesting.
Actually, this is my main thing. I have to find out how to go to special artist or to special spot.
Yeah.
And I thought you could do it just by using the hotspot and saying, when you click here, you get to this hotspot point. I didn't thought you need to open URL or, but.
Oh, you can do it with what he's showing now. So what Ronald is showing now is the go to some place.
But this is only triggering a hotspot, right?
Yeah, triggering a hotspot. But you can also show what she's. I think she's. I think Mariana is.
You mean like let's go
open a panorama with the.
Yeah. So open panorama.
Main viewer, and then a fixed start. Not the starting point, but custom.
Yeah.
That was the other option he was showing before, like
like this.
On TV and on, I was thinking about something else, but I will have to find it back and record it to see if it works.
So we can do this.
Could be used for this.
So let's put this one. I don't know which one this. Let's look up. So the first one is going to look up, and the other one is going to look at the TV. Let's see how this is going to be. These other two, they are still URLs with the deep links.
But I suppose it's creating the same thing, except you can't give this as a link to the viewer if you wanted to do this, which is actually good in your example, because you can give these links, special links. This was your example.
Yeah, and in your case with the all the different artists that you have in your art gallery, your virtual art gallery, you can send links for every specific artist and say, oh, this is your part of the virtual tour. this you can put on your own website, and a different artist wants to show their own work. So
of course.
this is very valuable, I think.
But still, it means that everyone can see, starting with the artist he choose and see all the other run.
Yeah.
It was already one question, but could you give just one thing separate from the others? No, huh? You can't. For example, like one artist, you give him his thing, but he's not in the same tour. No, this doesn't exist, right? From one URL, you can see all the others. It's gonna be always all the same.
It depends on how you design it. I mean, you can also duplicate the panorama and distract all the information from other people, and make this specifically to the artist, so that people cannot look at other panorama artist information that you put in the big panorama. So you make very specific panoramas for each thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's try your thing, because with this one it's going to look to the TV, and this one, ooh.
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't know that it was like also this smooth.
Okay.
That's interesting, I think. So both ways work.
Except you can't give this as a link to the people. The difference is this.
Yeah.
You understand?
I think if you want to have a certain web interface for different listings, then you could use it if you use it in an if you have an HTML overlay or something.
How do you mean?
When you use external buttons.
Yeah.
So these work perfectly with internally, and you could use the web that you can use in an external if you have an external switching.
Yeah, like, well, I don't know. Yeah, I could put something on my website and then make buttons in WordPress, and from WordPress buttons I click here, and then it's changing the virtual tour, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't try that. If you can externally change things in the iframe.
Yeah, I'm very curious to that as well. I'm going to play around with that, and if I found something, then I'm gonna share it with you. But other way around as well. I mean, if you find something you want to share, please do. Okay. So, well, I think I've shown. Yeah. Oh yes. Also, a difference is when I'm looking at this and I'm using these two buttons, they work, but they're not changing the link here. And if I do these, you see that the link is changing. So in this case, then I think this is a more private thing. So if you don't want your viewers to be able to share all these specific links, then probably use this method of open panorama and make this internal. But if you want people to share specific content, then the deep linking is going to be more interesting, because they know, hey, I can share this, copy, paste it on WhatsApp, Facebook, whatever. So I think that's the design choice you have. What do you guys think? Do you see like opportunities with this, or do you think like, nah, probably not for my virtual tour? What are your thoughts?
For me, it sounds very interesting. Especially for this, to give each artist his personal thing. But
yeah, I think so too. What about you, Eddie? Are you going to use this in your virtual tours?
First of all, I'm unmuting myself because on the background, Premiere is exporting a clip, and I don't. Do you hear the noise?
No.
No.
Oh, okay, that's fine. No, I don't think I will use this. I have another question, but perhaps it's not time now. But
yeah,
Marianne knows something about it. next Tuesday, I have a meeting with an artist, an abstract painter, and he wants to start with virtual tours.
Mm-hmm.
And I was asking myself, you have a gallery, so you can, with the Insta Pro or something, make the tour, but to visualize the paintings, is this better to take a 2D picture with a proper DSLR, or take the pictures? I think that you won't see very good paintings.
Well, this would be the exact question to ask to Dominique, because me, I'm just starting. But anyway, what I did on my tour, which is very different from what Dominique is doing, I just use the scans, the big scans I'm doing from each picture.
Mm-hmm. No pictures.
I don't use pictures. I use scan.
Okay.
But this is my thing. I think Dominique is as a Hasselblad.
Expensive one.
Yeah, and he's doing great pictures from this great museum. This is not my...
I will ask him.
I mean, actually, I don't think it matters. What you just need is like a very best picture you can, or is it on the scan 350 dpi, or with a beautiful camera, having the best picture you can and put it in your panorama. That's what I still didn't, and Ronald is helping me for this, and I'm trying to think what's the best would be to make like, because I had some interested feedbacks when I did the vernissage, the opening of the virtual gallery.
Okay.
People say, okay, it's great, it's very nicely done, and you have to think what is the best. I mean, what it brings to be online. What's the difference of going in a gallery and seeing the thing online? What does internet and virtual tour in a gallery brings? Obviously, it brings that the people can see it all over the world instead of just being in Paris. Okay, one thing. The other thing, what I thought is, what it brings, it's really that you could use internet from the zooming point. It's something you can't do in reality, right? What it would be to just being able to see details of the work that you can't see in real life. This would be for me a plus that brings only the internet. And so I started to think about this and saying, I would love that the people can zoom like we do on the panorama, but could zoom on the picture.
Yeah.
Right? But I didn't find out if it's to use a pop-up image or info windows. What would be the thing to have 250 pictures, and the people could zoom in and as well have a button to say, please contact, or this is my favorite, or I still don't know how to do it.
Okay.
Because I just started with 3DVista, and I'm just figuring out, the more I do it, the more I would like to have this option and this option. So, but I think to answer your question is like the best picture you can have, and have it big, and that's it, and it's great.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not about the deep linking, but
no, that's fine. I think also it depends on your client, of course, because the client you have, do they want to show their own museum and how it looks like from the inside, or is it more about the content, about all the arts the artists have, and to share that? Because in the one case, if it's really about the promotion of the museum itself and how beautiful it looks, you would need the 360 panoramas and make photos and stuff, and then add all this information. But if it's more about the artists and stuff like that, then you can do it on Mariana's way, having a big white panorama, which you can zoom in, and then you add a lot of hotspots to this empty white thing. You know, and then it's not about the museum, but it's more about the artwork of the museum.
We don't have a gallery. That's why we decided, okay, it can be all white. We don't care about what is important is the art we put in.
Yeah.
And it could be wherever. So we don't promote a gallery, but people who has a gallery or a museum, of course, wants his own space.
But there was a virtual gallery on the marketplace.
This one.
There is. Yeah, there is one. That one.
Yes.
Yes, I've seen it. Anyone tested this one out?
I think this one, what I've seen is, I think it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing is it's 8K.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what? It's too
Big.
much or it's too small?
No, too small.
8K. 8K.
It's 32 megapixel.
Away. Away, okay.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a really nice third option to do, but that depends on your client.
So this way you have a gallery, so you can show all your art there.
Exactly.
And to be honest, the way you want to show your images in 3DVista, we can show just a simple image. Sometimes you want to go to what Mariana said is the details. So you want to zoom in.
Yeah.
So maybe then it's better to use an external HTML, some kind of viewer. I think there are viewers on the market which you can feed with very high megapixel images, which you can zoom in then. 3DVista doesn't have that possibility, I think. Didn't saw that.
But you could import an external HTML link into 3DVista.
Yeah, you can use hotspots for that. So if you could put a hotspot on a I did it for a museum in I made 360 degrees photos from artwork from silver.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
and you can click there for information, and you can show.
what's the name? Silver? Silver is a company or no?
No, it's not a company.
Can you show it?
I can show it. Let's see where I.
Because the meeting that I have on Tuesday is definitely not about the museum or the gallery. It is about the artist, his work.
Yeah. One second. Let's see if this is the.
So I have to show them the Insta Pro 2 and how it works, and then they will decide if they're gonna make their tours on their own. And definitely I'm going to advise them to take a pro and not to do it by themselves.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
I was spending a lot of time on my tour. Not knowing anything.
If you go to one of the most fancy museums in the world, I don't know, name one.
Louvre?
Well, Louvre. And you make there one 360 panorama. You get permissions and stuff to do that. Maybe, well, I don't know how. But imagine, then you could basically put any artist in the virtual Louvre.
Yeah.
Then you can say, hey, you know, I'm showing the Louvre, you know, virtually. You can put on your VR glasses and you see my painting hanging there, you know.
Okay.
Ronald, I shared the link to in the chat.
In the chat, okay.
That shouldn't be too hard to arrange because almost all museum virtual tours look like crap.
Yeah.
They're very, very bad quality.
Yes.
So if you would actually like to do something like that, send them a few example panoramas and convince them that they should work with you.
Yeah. I think it's a really badass idea.
But you shouldn't tell them beforehand.
I see the link here from Brid.
Yeah, that's a museum in
Holland.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
This has a some sort of a guided tour, which is it's first at the start. It leads every panorama starts with every
Can you share your
object.
screen?
Can you share them? Can you open it?
Yeah, I can.
Yes, I can open it. Yes.
Yeah, you're better in Zoom at the moment. I just started with Zoom.
Okay.
Here it is. So that's this, right?
Yep.
That's a tour that you made.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So you can just click this. This is just the info screen. It's made in Dutch and English.
Okay.
At start, it's very rigid. It lets people go from every part of the exhibition. So when you follow this, you can see everything about this exhibition.
Okay. And then start.
Ah, yeah. So you get another piece of information about the space.
Yeah, this is about the space, and now you're in room 1, and you need to press the A button on the left.
Yeah.
So you cannot do anything. There are no hotspots. You need to press the A button. So you go to first.
Yeah, that's showing the museum. Yeah.
This is showing, and if you press the A button with the arrow up, that was the design.
Yeah.
Then you get information. You can, if you press on the play button.
Yeah.
Ah.
This is how you can.
Because you guide the viewer right now much more than if you just give everything, like all the information. And
this is what this is what a normal visitor can't see.
No.
You cannot rotate. You can zoom in this object.
You can zoom in. Are we?
Yep.
Okay.
I cannot use the mouse scroll.
You can scroll. I think you
yeah?
can scroll.
Oh yeah, now I can.
You can scroll.
Well, you made a 3D of the.
No, this is these are images. These are
images. It's not 3D.
This is 36 images.
Yeah, it's like a video. Just you can.
Yeah.
Try.
Do you know SIRV? SIRV?
No.
SRE.
How you did this? So with a outside HTML.
Yeah, this is done with another program. This is an external HTML page.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
And these are normal info windows.
Yeah.
So on this way, you can, if you go to B, you can go to C, you go to every.
Yeah. And this is done with an Insta Pro or with what kind of 360 camera?
This is a Nikon D850 with a 50mm.
DSLR.
Yeah.
Yeah, much better.
I like this. What you do with the how you guide. Like now I understand. Like I can click on this to get more information, and now I can go to the next room as well. Like you've learned me right now how to use the buttons and everything. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I really, yeah, this is really nice.
And then if I would take a picture with a DSLR, then I could pop up a picture and then you could zoom. Also.
Yeah, but for if you're doing paintings or that stuff, most of the paintings do have already great graphics, great pictures. But if you need to do it, I would say do it in 2D.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, but for the paintings, if you really want a high quality, you need a minimum 2 lights, big lights. You need lots of equipment, expensive equipment if you want a good quality.
Yeah.
So that's I did it 10 years ago for the one museum, also the big paintings. And usually the rule in a photography is whatever you taking a pictures you need 3 times bigger light of your subject. So,
Yeah.
so if you're taking a picture of the vase like this one, you need 3 times bigger light. If you have a painting about 2 times 3 meters, you need a really big light, and not only the one. So that can be really expensive, and you have to know a lot of skills in photography. So.
Yeah, well, I'm not a photographer. I'm a video guy who accidentally get into virtual tours. So I'm not. I have not a background.
Oh, you made a mistake. Oh God.
Just saying, if you want a really good quality of the paintings or you know, artifacts, whatever, you need a lot of lights, equipment, and a lot of knowledge and skills. So it's not easy.
No. The artist that asked information, I'm just going through there next week, and they are planning to buy a Titan. So I think there is a budget.
Oh yes.
Yeah, if you're buying a Titan, then there's a budget.
I don't think that.
But do they only want to use it for making for video, or only images?
I don't. It's first. How do I say it? First acquaintance on Tuesday, and they want to see and how it works and what could you do with it with this. It's a first meeting. Just
yeah, but if they a Titan is great for video.
Yeah.
For video. Yeah.
But for images, I wouldn't buy a Titan.
No.
It's like you buying a GH5 or GH7 of Panasonic small camera, and that's the same sensor inside, so I'll not get any better quality of the images with that. For sure.
It's great for video and for simple panorama, but for the better panoramics, I would use a DSLR.
And that's why Tuesday I'm going to listen what they really want. It's totally new for them. They don't know what direction they will go.
Okay, so shall we move on to the next subject? Because well, I have to keep a little eye on the time.
Okay, sorry.
No worries. No need to say sorry. I mean, it's up to me to move on. So, let's see. Are there still any questions about the deep links, and like something to share or? Okay, yeah, just checking in. Okay.
Sorry.
So let's move on to the JavaScript now. I've been putting out this question about JavaScript like I think a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I got a huge amount of response. Everyone's like, "Oh yes, sign me up and let's put me in the Slack group and everything." And I thought, "Wow, this is gonna get somewhere." But apparently, everyone was interested and wanted to know something about it. But nobody actually shared something about it or was replying to the things that I shared. So I guess it's still something very, well, difficult maybe. I'm not sure about it. I guess so. I mean, for me, it's difficult as well.
We'd love to learn about it. Yes.
I'm very curious. What are your thoughts about JavaScript so far? Like, do you have ideas about it? Have you already tried something to create? Anyone?
I haven't tried anything. I see that if you know the language, you can quickly program things, but I don't know how difficult it is to learn the language.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to have some examples from 3DVista also, how they use the JavaScript in their software. Because what I want to, for e-learning, for gaming, for instance, I would like to have, let's say, know how many things they found and pass that through in an email, for instance, by JavaScript.
Mhm.
So like things like that. So have the possibility to read internal things for the e-learning stuff is great for that. So let's create a game and let's give people 5 minutes to find all the eggs for Easter. And the guy who finds the most eggs will get a prize. So you need to count, and that you need to pass on. So that kind of thing, things are interesting. I think.
Yeah.
Yes, there should be more examples because.
Yeah, I'm really missing with 3DVista in general, because I created virtual tours with also Pano. I'm coming from Panotour. In the past, Easy Pano did use that also. I'm really missing examples from it. There is a possibility, because in the release notes you read something about, oh, I've skipped intro, but where is it in the manual? So where can I find it? Where can I read more about it? So that's really what I'm missing at the moment. And also how to use it's great to have the possibility to have JavaScript, but give us some examples what we can do with it.
How to use it.
Yeah, how to use it. Give an example from how to create an email, for instance, and give some and read things from 3DVista. Get some internal information from the tour.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Okay.
That's what I was missing.
Yeah. No, I'm very happy that you shared. I mean, I'm not going to deep into these things because I really want to like listen you out and then also get other people's things. Like I think Francisc Beatrix was also into JavaScript, I think. Let's see. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes, I'm really interested because I can see lots of possibilities.
What kind of possibilities?
It's, for example, making tours for shops and to add more information, more possibility, similar to a website.
Okay. And now there's specific things that you're like, well, this is something very JavaScript specific that I would like to see in my virtual tour. I don't know.
No, I'm only interested in. I'm very lack of the knowledge of JavaScript.
Yeah. So also examples, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gus, what about you?
I don't have any specific needs, but just I know that we can do we can do better things. We can do better. So yeah, I'm just I'm just not any specific needs as of now, because I'm so much getting started now. So yeah, but I would like to look into details. Yeah.
Okay. I know Oscar has experimented with JavaScript somehow, but I don't know what exactly. Very curious.
I'm programming for e-learning, and I have a programmer who's using JavaScript a lot.
Your audio is a bit bad.
Sorry?
Your audio is a bit bad.
Is my audio bad?
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I don't know. Maybe you can fix it quickly. Otherwise, we try to.
I'm not sure I can fix it.
Okay, well, we can still.
If I speak louder, it's better.
No, doesn't matter.
Audio settings, I will check them. Adjusting volume, output level. Input level. No, it's okay.
Well,
that's a problem.
We can still hear you, so that's a good thing.
What do you say?
We can still hear you, so that's a good thing. So you've been into the e-learning, and for that you use the JavaScript?
Yeah, we use a lot of JavaScript for it. It's it all depends on JavaScript, but it's important to have a good idea what you want to do. And the ideas is the first part, but JavaScript you can use for all kinds of interactions.
Do you have a basic example of that?
No, not really. That's a little difficult to show because it's secured.
Yeah.
To give it free.
Okay.
At the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. Anyone else?
I have a question, Ronald. At one point, I wanted, for example, that the people which are viewing some pictures of from an artist could go from one picture to another one, see what they want, and at the end, I thought if there is 250 pictures, it would be nice that the people there is something like a favorites that the people could, and this, for example, I'm sure with a JavaScript should be made. You see that. If you like 10 of this and you don't want to look around again for them in the middle of 250 other pictures, with a JavaScript you could have I'm sure easily. I mean, when you know how to do it, you could have these favorites and have them afterwards. No, is it somebody who knows JavaScript can maybe answer this? If it's something you could do, the same then Xander was saying, for example, if you find the eggs and somebody has 10 eggs, then you could have the result of this and then send a mail directly to him saying he wins something. This would be a bit the same, like to see 250 different pictures and to say, these 10 ones are my favorite and I can contact you or something. This, I think it's something to do with JavaScript, no?
I think you can do almost anything in JavaScript. I just haven't tried it yet in the virtual tool software. So I've made websites in the past using quite a bit of it, but I don't know what the limitations and possibilities within Virtual Tool Pro are. So, but basically, you can do
all kind of things.
You can do a lot as long as it can be processed on the computer with the browser itself. So if you don't, well,
but
as long as you don't need server-side stuff, well, even that could be done. But you could do a lot.
But does it mean you really need to know the language Java to be able to use it, or could you have like examples that you could start to play with without knowing the whole thing? You know.
What I did in the beginning, many years ago, was to look at tutorials and then pick example projects from somebody else and creatively imitate them and start to modify them. So you look for something simple that looks like what might do what you want, or get closer and just start experimenting with it. But you just to start with it, you need to have some basic understanding, and you really need to learn that to some extent. Otherwise, you'll just stare at parts of code endlessly without understanding why it doesn't work.
Yeah, but it would be interesting to have like internal 3DVista, maybe a few examples, that could be useful for a special for tours. I don't know what kind of example, but to have certain things and be able to replicate and see how to make it yours in a way.
Could help if they put some very basic examples there. nothing advanced, but some very simple stuff to get the idea and motivation. From hey, I could do this. How can I do that? But you have to see some simple examples. I think to start having the
understanding
slightly advanced persons making tours starting to make use of them of the functionality. So, but I've not played with this with JavaScript in combination within Virtual Tour Pro myself yet, so I can't comment on it.
So nobody did actually. Oh.
Well, I got something. But the thing is, the reason I haven't really shared it so far is because I have fucked it up, so I don't understand it myself anymore. So I first need to understand it myself before I'm able to explain it to others. But I'm just going to share what kind of thing I have, kind of, and well, see, maybe you can help me somehow. So wait, let's go back. So I had this virtual gallery some time ago for a client, and the idea behind the JavaScripting was to have a hotspot like this one and make it change the color like this. So now it's changing, and it should maybe trigger a pop-up or whatever kind of action, show more information. But then it should keep this color forever, because then you know that you've actually clicked this hotspot. And then you can imagine if you have this hotspot like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, well, like 20 times, you're going to be overwhelmed and you don't know what you've clicked and what you've not seen so far. So the idea was it changes color, but then if you, like you can do this with regular 3DVista, you don't need JavaScript for this. But where the kicker comes in is that it's going to remember that you've clicked on this specific hotspot. So that when you are going to refresh the tour, it's not going back to yellow in this case, because right now it's turning yellow, but it stays green. So, and then that happens with all these things that you've clicked on.
So you should store your selections of the hotspots in a cookie or something.
Exactly.
But then you need to read if there's a cookie for the tour.
Yeah.
And then you should make it green or every color you want.
So I'm going to look for the code because I put this in my WhatsApp. So let's see. I stop sharing my screen for a second, otherwise all my WhatsApp messages are openly public. Yeah, so here I've got something. Let's see.
So I would hate to add a cookie warning to a website, to a virtual tour.
Yeah. Well, local storage, is that also cookie? I guess not, right? Is local storage the same as a cookie? Because what I got explained from the guy who write the code for me, he said, well, local storage is better than a cookie and everything. But it also sounds completely different. So I guess you wouldn't need a banner for it, but I'm not sure if you would have to.
I'll Google for it.
Yeah.
Local storage sounds like if you refresh the page, it's gone.
Ah, yeah?
No, it's staying in there. Yeah. I got it working some time ago, but I don't have the correct code for that anymore. So I have to play around with that. And so that's why.
So while Ronald is looking into that, I have sent a link on chat. just for JavaScript examples, very super simple website that we can, if someone interested, you can look into that actually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
And did you have something? No, you haven't combined it with 3DVista yet, right?
No. I think if someone wants to learn or just understand something, this is like
exactly.
There's something.
Hello. Hi, this is Casey from Malaysia here. I has been spent some time, on this W3 school learning some JavaScript. Yeah, but I have no idea where to put the code in the 3DVista software. Yeah, because my intention is to to make a contact page so that to collect the customer information and also there are some simple question, and then they might click on some submit button and send it to our mailbox. That is not seen, in the current 3DVista. So yeah, it's very
when you click a button, then.
Sorry again.
You were saying when you click on a button, it should send information.
You should send an email to collect all the information, like what is your name, email address from the customer, and also there are questions directly sent to your mailbox. It's not through some PHP server script, something like that. Yeah. So
you have these codes, but you don't know where to place them.
I play around, with the action from the 3DVista, but they cannot recognize the JavaScript. I do not know because there is no no the proper documentation. How to put those things works in the 3DVista. So that is a problem. The only things I can do is to say hello world. That's the only thing I can. It's work fine for me. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it would also be nice to have people like enter their name, so you have input boxes.
Yeah, I see a lot of the YouTube study how to create a contact form and also how to create a response script. Such thing. All of these things maybe. You can do it, yeah, but the only thing is you cannot implement it in the 3DVista. So I do not know how to start. Maybe someone can tell me, yeah.
Well, let's see if this is maybe going to help you. I found the codes. So this is Dutch. This is Dutch command. What I did in order to do this trigger action thing and to remember the click, I had two pieces of code. So the first piece of code is this part, and this is on initialization. So when you are going to open a tour, it should start creating variables. So a pano1, and from there on, I have something like var enabled his local storage, well, and everything. But this code, what I know is that I have to copy this, go to the main viewer. I think I created an empty PNG in at action, but I think now it changed. I'm not sure if this works as well. So don't pin me on this. And I say execute JavaScript.
Yeah.
The thing is not on click, on rollover, but on initialization. So from here on, you say, okay, paste this code and always execute this code when the tour is going to be created, opened, I mean. So from here on, you say, okay, done. And then I referred here to a variable I created, pano1. What's the guy who wrote this code told me, he said, you have to go to the panoramas and call this panorama as well, exactly pano1.
Okay.
Then this one is going to be pano 2. Yeah, we're probably not going to use this one. But in order for the scalability, you have to think of that as well. Because if you're going to create 10 or 100 panos, that's it. So, and then in pano 1, you should create like a hotspot.
Okay.
Do we have 2 colors of hotspots? Well, let's see. So let's do left, click, and let's make one, the right one. So now the idea is that when you click on one, it's going to show the other. So we're going to disable this one, the right one, and the right one should be opened up the next one. So the idea is that when, like right now, we're going to create a little preview on this. I hope this is not taking too long. I just created this project out of nothing.
While waiting for this, I checked out local storage versus cookies. And you don't need the cookie wall message for local storage.
Nice.
Cookies are usually used.
Oh, your connection is right now bad.
Can't hear you.
Changed into mobile voice. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not working. I mean, or am I the only one?
No, I can't hear. I can't hear him either.
Yeah, he's totally lost his voice.
Roel, I see his face moving. Roel?
Yes.
Yeah, we lost you. You were telling about the cookies and the local storage, and after that, you sounded like some sort of a fax machine.
Okay, one more try. You don't need a cookie warning message, at least not in Europe, for the local storage option, because it can only be read by the browser of the client visiting a website. So it can be read by HTML5 and JavaScript, but it can't be used by servers for tracking purposes. So that's a really nice plus. Plus, you can store up to 5 megabytes of DOP information in them. So it's, well, and if somebody clears the browser data cache, it's gone.
Yeah.
But it doesn't expire by itself. So it's really a nice alternative to cookies and for getting rid of all these nasty pop-ups which everybody clicks yes to anyway. I need to go for a few minutes. I'll be back in a while.
Okay. So I just created this thing, and what I've got so far is that when you're going to, let's go back, no, this one. So only this one is visible now, nothing JavaScript right now triggered. But the idea is when you are going to click on this panorama, it's going to execute JavaScript again, and it's going to show the second piece of the code. So here, this is the second piece of the code. But what is important here, when you read this code, is it's going to create a variable and it's get this panorama overlay by name. So this is something you can, this is like something you should know about 3DVista, because this is 3DVista specifically related JavaScript code.
Yeah, this is what you wanna have a list of these all these settings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I hope I can. Well, I mean, if people are willing to share their projects or whatever, or share whatever they know or learned about this, then we can create such a list.
Mm-hmm.
But then here, it's taking the panorama with this name. So I have to copy this. I called it A black, but I can name it anyhow I like. But this also needs to be the same name.
Yeah.
And then back to here. So it's going to
blue one.
set A black to visible, invisible,
Yeah.
and B, it's going to make it visible. Like this is basically the eye icon. So this thing, what's happening with the code. So right here, I have to go here and take this of the name, done, and rename this as well. And now it should work, but it's not working, and I don't know why.
But, Ronald, excuse me, I don't understand why you need to do this.
Oh, it's working.
It's working. Wow.
Okay, so, but I think the only thing that's not working yet is
you need to go back.
Like when I refresh the page, it's going. Holy shit. Oh, it might even actually work. Maybe I just. Holy shit. Okay, so now, if it's actually working, then I should remove my history now. So I'm just stop sharing my thing because I don't want you guys to see all my internet history. So I'm removing that right now. Like the last hour, whatever. Okay, I'm share screen. Yes. So the last hour, remove history. I'm going to delete this now. Okay. So now if I'm going to refresh this, if it's working, it's going to show the left one again. Please. Fuck yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we got somewhere in this meeting.
So if you refresh now, it only shows the left one.
Yeah. So right now, if I refresh, it's showing the left one. Only when I click on it, it's going to show the right one, and it stays on the right one. So I'll click it. It changes.
So this is now stored in the local storage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I need to delete my whole internet history to reset the whole thing again. So now people cannot go back or anything because I forced them. That depends on how I design the whole tour, of course. But
yeah. Okay. I think this is you got another usage. So whereby I remember I saw something in the Pana tour example.
Yeah.
They have a call out title which is animated very nicely. Yeah. So when someone go to the center of the panorama, then the hotspot will activate the call out title. Yeah. And then it will stay for there. When you move away, to the left or to the right, then it will start to vanishing. Yeah, so this disappear again. Yeah, so this is a very good JavaScript example as well, I think.
I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah, because I'm trying to what we call it, to learn how to use this call out title in my virtual tour. So I'm learning Illustrator and also After Effects to create such hotspot. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it make files save as. I don't know if I can send a TXT file in the Zoom chat, but otherwise I'm going to send this anyhow.
You can.
Let's see.
You can share. Maybe you can share it to in the 3DVista user group, so that anyone who needs it can download.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can play around with at least we know how to play around with some JavaScript code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this makes sense. I put it in the chat, but I'm also going to try to put a TXT file in it. Let's see. So at least you have something to play around with now. There's no excuse anymore for that, not to do it.
Yeah, kind of make me busy again, yeah.
Let's see. JavaScript. Oh yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Yeah, and another thing is, you know, I saw in the panorama, there is a small checkbox. Yeah, so and I mean, the software from Pana Tour, so I think, so whenever you show the panel list, yeah, so you can see all the panorama, you know, picture, yeah, but you cannot, whenever you had visited, it's not recorded. You see, there is no checkpoint saying that you already visited this panorama. Yeah, so because when you can imagine, yeah, if you have 20 or 30 panorama, so you tend to mix up. You can't remember which one you already visited, which one you didn't, you haven't visited them. Yeah, so if you manage to do a simple checkpoint on the panorama, yeah, maybe by, I mean, the built-in features or even by the JavaScript itself, yeah, so it might be help also.
Yeah. So you mean like having checkpoints in panoramas?
Yes, it's a bit small checkbox, yeah. Just put it on the left top side or on the right top of the panorama, yeah. So whatever you have already checked. So I think someone already discussed this, raised this question in the 3DVista user group. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but no answer from 3DVista.
Yeah, well, I guess we have to figure this out ourselves. So that's a good thing about the Zoom meetings, I guess.
Yeah, I think what you need to do is to, you know, just to modify a little bit on your software to have this built-in, so that you can, yeah, it will show the small checkbox beside the panorama.
So now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, what if we want to recreate this to what Mariana was saying? Because if you want this to do like with the favorite thing, well, it's already kind of like a favorite thing, because it might change the color of a heart icon to something like, okay, this is nice, and it stays this thing. But you would probably need something in the skin to show up a list. So
oui, c'est ça.
then instead of right here, this is all happening within the panorama, but I think you have to create a new variable and do, instead of do something with this get panorama overlay by name, it should do something with get into the skin instead of like get into the panorama. And then it might work, but yeah, well, I guess.
We can use in the skin, we can use, you know, with the tilts of the accolades. Maybe we can add text to that.
In the skin? And then?
Yeah, in the skin we can add labels with, and you can see them in the multi-text line labels.
Oh, yeah.
There you can see them. And maybe it's possible to add, yeah, just add a frame and see, and the right button, yeah, that one. So if we could add text to some sort of string like that, so you can add an enter and then the next object you selected.
Yeah, but you see, if you have like a gallery, you don't want to have like text going on the image or something like. You would like something very small.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, I'm like thinking about how they're doing on Amazon to have like your chart panier. Enfin, you know, when you're shopping, blah,
your
blah,
shopping
blah.
bag. Yeah, your shopping cart. Yeah.
I would hate to have like a shopping bag, of course. This is not the point. The point is to say, my favorite paintings are this, and I can keep and come back to it. You know, it's not, it's the same, actually it's the same idea to have a shopping bag, but it's not this. It's a gallery.
Yeah, you call it favorite pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you can see them again.
Yeah, then the deep linking would be nice here. So if you could create a link here, so these are my favorite paintings, give it a name with which are clickable.
You need something like get link of, like get URL or something within the JavaScript, and then put it on the skin, right?
Yeah, the problem is if you would do that, if you would like to do that for a painting, every painting should have a
Little
like
heart, for example.
should have a hotspot on it.
Ah, yeah, of course.
So, and then you could store the hotspots in a list with their real name.
No,
so
unless you specify coordinate X and Y, then simply just.
Oh, the yarn pitch. Yeah, you could do the yarn pitch. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds complicated for if it's a big amount of. I mean, anyway, hotspot is gonna have, because if you want each image to appear alone, it has to be a hotspot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an info window or a pop-up. This is something else.
Yeah, but then you need to know all the hotspot names, and then what Ronald is talking about, then we need to store that in a separate container or something with which would have your favorite paintings.
But this should be automatical. You can't ask the people to do this, of course.
No.
Because you build this.
Yeah, you build this,
this
but you
then...
need to rename all your hotspots. Give them logical names.
Of course. And then use this deep link. What he showed.
And that deep link could be a solution for that.
More interesting than the JavaScript?
I think we need JavaScript also. I think we need also JavaScript for that.
Shit.
But yeah. But more cooler would be if you have it mailed to you, for instance, with the links in it. So if you say, I like painting A, B, C, D, and you go through the complete gallery, and let's send you an email with all the deep links to you. I think that
super. So this is another step, huh? That
the
people can see again what they liked.
Yeah. So you get a list. You get a list of clickable items with the name of the painting, and you like painting, and maybe you could even add the name of the painter to it.
Yeah, we love that.
That would be a really great.
Holy shit! Like,
when can you demonstrate that?
Yeah, that would be like.
I will try to work on it. When the next in 15 days we have a next meeting.
Yeah, you're going to demonstrate it, Mariana?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nice. Okay, so speaker one of the meeting is Mariana talking about JavaScript.
Yeah. How to make an email and from your favorite hotspots.
Oh my god.
With deep linking.
I like this challenge, Mariana.
I will try, and then I will ask some help to Xander and Ronald, of course. And the other people wants to help. Welcome. Let's make a team.
I think I gotta pause my clients for 2 weeks.
Terrible. No, but it's interesting to find out if we approach to this kind of thing. I think this can be useful for a lot of different examples. It's not like it doesn't have to be on this spot or this.
Yeah.
But no, this idea about finding out if, for example, to show an image out of panorama, if it should be info window or pop-up, it can be as well important for AD and for, you see, I think the more we find how this could work and this could work. Okay, great. Could be useful for everybody.
Yeah.
So I will try my best.
Yeah, I would love to have some forums, for instance, in 3DVista.
Exactly, sure. And the idea of having these discussions, this chat, where the people can add comments. I saw this in some messages, and then it was lost. I mean, I didn't know.
I like this little bridge because the whole JavaScript thing got me thinking: how are we going to communicate about something so specific as this subject as JavaScripting? Because in the Facebook group, I thought, well, yeah, it could be, but like all the messages get somehow forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like played around with something. Meanwhile, I'm uploading my tour. Let's see, the JavaScript thing. It's going to be on 360creators.com/JavaScript, but it's still uploading, so it's not working yet. I'll show you. So I thought, okay, I'm not sure if this is the way to go, by the way, but I thought, let's create something like a forum or something like that, and have something within, you click on Learn 3DVista, and then there is, JavaScript is still missing here. Shit. Yeah, here.
Okay.
There's something like, okay, learn 3D, like you learn JavaScript or know something more about this. So you can follow this subject. Well, you gotta log in for that. And then when you're inside this part of the subject, you can have like the stream of information, all the questions you ask, post, whatever. You can have within this specific topic of JavaScript, but on top we can like have some kind of knowledge that's always pinpointed to the subject. So you can always find the most important information about JavaScript here. So I can insert a Google Drive link here and share the files like the TXT code that I just sent in the Zoom, and have everything on this place. And then you can talk here, say, okay, well, but how do I create a second panorama and get the JavaScript working? I don't know, whatever. And then it already shows you like questions that might be asked before. And so this way I thought, maybe this is the way to go, but I'm not sure yet, because I've tested this also out with a few users from this group, and the feedback is still like, okay, well, again, it's another thing, and there's still a lot of information, a lot of streams. So I'm not sure if this is something that actually works, but I've been playing around and like to hear what you guys are thinking of it. Anyone?
Definitely not for me, but perhaps there are others.
You mean because of the JavaScript subject, or?
I'm not a programming guy.
So what do you think of, instead of the JavaScript, you go to all the topics and you say, hey, I want to learn more about whatever, like virtual reality specifically, because you have VR. Maybe you want, in your case, I can imagine you want to learn more about 360 cameras that are into video. So I had this, well, 360 video thing. So, oh yeah, I got it. And then you might say, hey, well, let's talk about 360 video cameras instead of all these 360 photography cameras. A lot of people are talking about. Within the 360 video, you can talk about the Titan, you can talk about QCam, you can talk about Insta Pro and stuff like that. I don't know.
I think I really so I like it. No, because the idea is wonderful to have kind of a database for all the knowledge. Because this is the same. I have always the same problem because I'm quite new to 3DVista, and I'm looking around all, you know, that is on the user group Facebook side. There's a lot of good information, but it's hard to find it.
Yeah.
Even with search function, it's hard to find it because it's not structured. And what I really love that you did the great job to structure all these informations into topics. So thank you very much. I would really love to get the link to this because the next time I see it, just here, and I think, wow, because I really was looking for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So
I really love to hear that. Yeah.
No, because I'm really struggling with this because, you know, these are exactly the points. I'm looking for specific questions. You know, I run into something special question, and also if I find something out, I can write you. Perhaps you know it.
Exactly.
Perhaps you don't. This is kind of a database which is growing and growing over the time. So
and
this
everything is also findable through Google. So everything you type here is also publicly available. So when you Google some kind of problem about 3DVista, you're going to get to this. So,
perfect.
Because Facebook is restricting all this information.
Yeah, no, and we need the structure because there's so many different topics.
Yeah,
and you know also the user group, the 3DVista user group is so diverse in a way because, you know, people just one uses just the basic stuff, the others are deeply into programming, so everyone has different topics or things that are important for them. So and this is perfect because then you just jump right in your topic and you find your solutions and your answers. So that's great.
Okay.
I think this might work. In case of Facebook, I somewhat start to ignore all the questions that are popping up every few days again and again.
Yeah.
So I'm just signing up for the tribe.so account.
Yeah, you can, well, like 3dvista.tribe.so is the link. I'm going to put it in the, you can already sign up. Like if you have any feedback about things that are like annoying or not logically or whatever, like just tell me. Yeah.
Okay.
The worst thing about Zoom.
Where do you see the link?
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I was looking.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think because when you're going to ask a question, it's already showing a few preview questions that might have already been asked. So then you're like, oh, never mind. And then you don't ask the question again. Because that happens so much in the Facebook group.
Yeah, it's hard to look. It's hard to search in the Facebook group.
Yeah, but if you also have like criticism or whatever, tell me as well, because I mean I love to hear that it works and it's fine and everything, but I also love the critical feedback because some part of the critical feedback was like about a mobile app that was missing because when you're on mobile you don't want to go to your browser and then type in 3dvista.tribe.so and stuff like that, and you want to get notifications and stuff like that. So all that kind of things that you're missing about this, please tell me, and then I'm going to see if I find a way to solve these things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I made myself a member, so
Okay.
I'll test it out.
So
Yes, it's still in beta version, so it's not finished.
No problem.
Ronald, one question regarding can we also use JavaScripting to, for example, search something inside the 3DVista virtual tour, for example? If there is something I have to search, for example, let's say like in Mariana's case.
Search bar on top, and then you type in, and then you have keywords, and it's going to show like, okay, I'm looking for the TV. And
Okay.
For
example, in Mariana's case, like for example, someone is looking for pictures from specific artist or something, so they just type the name of the artist or something, then they get that particular images from that particular artist or some like categories, drop downs, and so many different things. I'm just it's just wild thinkings, you know. So
I think that can be done. But that depends on the first question, like before, like, can you trigger content from a website? Because if you can use the deep links with focus on the hotspots and stuff like that, if you can use that on a website and trigger the virtual tour part of it on the website, then you can basically find some kind of plugin on WordPress or whatever kind of thing you use, and then add all these deep link URLs to titles and text, and then you can use this search bar and it would work. So I guess so, yes. But it's a lot of assumptions, mostly depending on external triggers.
Yeah, when Marina was saying about this shopping cart or something which she didn't like, and it can be something add to favorites sort of, you know, if someone likes the gallery, some image of some particular author, it can be more like adding to favorites or something when they come back, and so it's yeah, something like that should be possible, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a comment. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's something to play around with, experiment with. Yeah, for sure. Some other question I have. We started using the 3DVista user group forum.com or something like that some time ago. That's something Andrew and I closed because we saw that it wasn't really used that much. It was a bit complicated. Oh yes, he also refunded the money. So the money he paid for creating the forum, he refunded because he didn't want to like show this attitude of like, oh no, whatever. But he spent the money anyway, but he wants to show like he doesn't want to make money. Like this was his experiment. And I said to him like, hey, I think you still deserve the money, but he refused to take the money back. So he said, if you need it to create something else, like, I don't know, the tribe or whatever, he says, then use the money for that. So just saying. But then from that forum, we went to Slack and we created a bunch of channels and stuff like that. But also the amount of use is quite low. And there is some activity in it. And I can imagine, I don't know, what do you guys think of it? So Slack
is crap. I completely dislike it, especially on mobile. I see in what groups or channels or whatever it's called, I see that there are new messages and I need to scroll and scroll and scroll. It's just not very inviting for me to actually check. I check it once a week if there's something interesting and I close the app.
Yeah,
it's probably better on a desktop, but it's not my thing.
So what do you like about it, and what? Well, is there anything you like about it?
No.
Okay, no. Okay.
I don't see any benefit.
Maybe because it was specific channels or something like that, but.
Yeah, I think it was a good idea to have this while we didn't have anything, and we could find help on this or a question about this. And this was pretty good. The thing is, there's not enough how you say people getting in, and it's not open actually.
Yeah.
And so the good thing is it exists, and you can still find some information when you need it, and you can still contact some people because you have their mail on this.
Yeah.
Cool. But I think that compared to the video tutorials or things that I see, where you just can type a Java link for JavaScript for 3DVista and it comes, So I don't know exactly how they do this, to have this kind of tutorial, very easy to find, and where you can have all the subjects linked. Yeah. Not going deep and trying to find hard to find stories.
Exactly.
Because, for example, I remember looking for an old recording that Theodore or discussion in this Slack, and I could not find it back.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to find back information, and that's not possible within Slack.
It's not possible. So I think, I'm sorry because I'm not into this building up these things because I don't know it, but I think we should have like, I don't know what it is, maybe a internet site or something where we could find easily the subject and
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I like the Slack, not so much, little bit. There are interesting items, and when I see an interesting one, I copy and paste it. If there is something that I think I will use later on. But business here is coming back bit by bit, and now I see in the COVID time, I didn't have anything to do. And so I looked at Slack and 3DVista and very interesting learning. But now there are jobs coming, and I see that I don't look as often to the sites and the meetings, and they are all interesting, and I like to learn, but when there are jobs to be done, there's less time to learn about other things.
So I think then what's missing is kind of like an overview of like updates of the last week or 2 weeks or something like that. So basically something like a newsletter or something that you can sign up to and get like the most important updates of this 1 or 2 weeks, something like this, I guess. No?
Yeah, but imagine we're in a subject like this JavaScript story. Yeah. And okay, now we said some things, you were passing some codes and blah, blah, blah. We should be able to just find it back when we need it.
Yeah,
not like Eddie said, okay, when I see something and I copy it and pass it. Normally, we should be able to say, okay, now I need JavaScript for 3DVista, and it comes, and the whole message.
That would be ideal, of course, but
I don't know how to do it. That's the thing. Yeah,
I have some idea about that.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
Wow, you're the man, Ronald. Cool. No, but I think when you need a subject, you should be able to find all the conversation about it. And this was the thing which didn't work with a 3DVista Facebook story, because if you were looking for something, you could spend nights trying to find back what was the discussion, blah, 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 blah. So this did not work, and this Slack works better because you did all the subject and things, but still the conversation has spread on time. And spread on subject.
Yeah,
like
right.
You put a name of something you need, like hotspot, and everything comes.
Yeah.
This is my thinking.
Yeah, but so we're back to the database kind of thing, and depending on the project that you are on, okay, I don't know how to do that or this or that, and I search for it, and then I can try it out. Yeah, you're right.
You see, this was a problem with the 3DVista. They put a lot of videos, tutorial videos, which are really good, and you can, when you start, you can follow them. Blah blah blah. Yeah. After, you don't see 15 minutes of video just to have a detail of what was it, to put what the info you should put there. You can't see 16 minutes of video for this info. That for me was normally you should have like a tutorial writing where you can just put the question and the answer.
Yeah.
Because we don't have time obviously to follow all these videos to have one little detail.
Yeah.
Well, I watched them all because it was the only source of information.
No, but I mean, to learn at the beginning, of course, me as well, I watched them all. But after, you didn't wrote down everything which was important, and to find it back, you have to see again the whole video. And this is very stupid. I mean, it doesn't work like this.
Yeah.
So this was something that 3DVista does, but it's not good enough. what I think. Tutorial. But it's difficult to know really how to.
Am I sharing my screen, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, oh shit! I didn't know.
Yeah, we also saw your all your browser history.
Oh, ah, no! I'm gonna quit. Bye, guys. See you later.
It's recorded now. You need to do editing of your film.
Oh, that's so annoying.
I missed that.
Then you also noticed that I took the code. I created something on the tribe. I made an article about this, so I can make this only available to moderators or whatever, or just to any member. The tutorial thing. There are 4 types of posts, and with the tutorial one, you can add also images and links and stuff like that. So a more advanced version. Anyway, for now, I made this thing. So I posted it, and it's going to be in this big stream of information, right? So the idea is now that this post, I can edit. So maybe someone's going to reply to this post and say, hey, but what about, well, blah, blah, blah. And you have a discussion. So I can say, well, you know, I'm going to edit this post and make this like the working document kind of thing. So I say like, oh, well, this should be Pano 2, whatever. And well, I'm just going to make some changes to this thing. You get it. And I make this a working document. So then now that's nice, but now you have to find this this very valuable document back. So I'm going to copy this link. I go back to the JavaScript, and because I'm the moderator of the thing, I can change the top part of JavaScript and say, okay, find Ronald's JavaScript that he, well, right over here, whatever. Create a link, save, and save. So now, this piece of information, like you can make a lot of extra content now and it's going to disappear in the stream, like Facebook. But now, because I found this important, I put it on top of this subject and we can go to this piece of information and continue talking about this specific thing. So, well, that requires that you guys talking about all these things, and that me or maybe some other people are going to moderate these things and say, hey, this is very important information, let's put this on top. And then but this way you have all these links to important information on top and you can always find it back.
Could you do the edit one more time?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
this one or the other one?
Yeah, no, this one.
Okay.
There are some things you can, definitions. Is there something you can put in there? So maybe it's more easy because I won't. You go lower, and there. No.
Oh, this.
There.
Yeah.
No, this is.
Yeah, I don't understand this.
No, I don't. No, this is not what I'm thinking about. Maybe we could enter some keywords, so like JavaScript, email, those kind of things.
Yeah, so this is the next thing. So when you are going to talk about JavaScript here, and I might say like, hey, wait, this is very important for art galleries. So I might say, okay, you know what? I'm going to edit my own post. And with JavaScript, this is like the first thing, that's where it's going to be shown mostly. But I can also add more text. So I can say arts, well, there's, when I start typing, you can already see there's more things. I can say, hey, well, this applies as well to virtual reality.
Yeah.
Also applies to live guided tours maybe. And well, also to art galleries. Art galleries. Hey, wait, this is not a topic yet existing, but hey, let's create it. You know, you can do it anyway. So now I'm going to say done, submit. And now the same piece of information here is going to be tagged with all these different things. So I can click on virtual reality now, And within this stream, this is also tagged. But also in the art galleries, it's like a hashtag on Twitter or whatever, you know.
If you type in art galleries and search in 3DVista community, then then it shows already.
This is the home, and I'm going to type in art gallery. And you see topic art galleries. Okay. Hey, so this is everything available about art galleries. Ah, okay, I see this is related this how with this whole thing, and you know, you obviously have to use this properly and not mess it up. But if you all use it properly, then it's very, well, I think awesome.
Yeah. You could be right.
I hope so.
Yes.
But I think for JavaScript, we need to have a updated list of variables we can use from 3DVista.
So I'm going to add here a link. Well, you know, we can make that. Let's say, okay, JavaScript list of variables. So, well, one of these things is
get panorama overlay by name.
Exactly, this one. Until here, I think. No, like this. So this is one of them. We can make it a bullet list. And then say something like, okay, hotspot A black, you have to change to the hotspot name. Something like this. And then say publish. So now everyone can reply to this and add more things like, hey, you know, I've found this one or whatever, and people can respond. And then if I think that's actually right, then I say, okay, edit my post and add this as well, like new one, whatever. And then I change it. And this link, again, is going to be copied back to here. Source of like a, here's the list of JavaScript lines in 3DVista. Something like this. Make it link. Okay, save, bam.
I think there are actually two.
What do you mean?
This dot get panorama overlay by name. So I think that gives the name of the panorama. And the next one is this dot get media by name. Looking at
part one of part two.
What you're typing in here, get media by name, and name is the variable pana1.
I'm lost. Sorry. This one. No.
No, in the JavaScript list of variables.
Yeah.
I think those are. I think two variables.
Oh, okay.
The first one is the panorama by name.
Yeah.
And then this one is another one. And then get media by name, and then name was the the variable you in the code you defined variable name.
Like this, right?
Like in the code you have written var name is pana1.
So I'm going to delete this.
And that's a declaration of a variable.
Like this, you mean, right?
I think both are, yeah. Get media by name and get, but those will give back a. I think those are two different ones.
Yeah, and then we can put here the explanation. So get panorama overlay by name.
But what we should test is to write it back to the screen. Because who did manage to get hello world? So maybe you could test it in the tour by pasting that with the hello world to your display, so you can also see what you're asking from the code, what you're asking from the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Hello, 3DVista. Hello.
Oh, I love this so much about Facebook. Not. Okay, so let's.
Roel, you were talking about JavaScript a lot. Is it possible? Can you make a small example for copying when we ask a variable from the system to copy it to the screen, so we can see what the system is doing?
I've never tried it in Visual Tour Pro yet, but I will need to implement JavaScript in the next month for a project. So whenever I've done it, if nobody else has done something with it before, I'll share what I have.
Yeah, it would be great for debugging your code if you do something stupid.
Oh, I do something stupid all the time.
Yeah, that's I used it also to in the past with some programming to show the code on screen what I'm trying, but there's no really good debugger in 3DVista.
Well, it's probably best to experiment first on a simple website, this local or something, and then copy paste it to 3DVista and hope it works.
I guess it would not.
I thought I was here somewhere.
So this is a real good example for looking for something in Facebook.
Yeah.
Like Ronald is now showing.
Terrible.
Like here, if you would type in the hello world thing, I'm pretty sure you would have already found it.
Okay.
So maybe you could do an alert on the this dot get panorama name with the panel 1, for instance. That
hotspots.
That should open a pop-up window with okay.
Sorry guys, I have to leave you. I have to go for dinner.
Bye. Roman, I have one quick question for you. Or was that Eddie?
Eddie's gone.
Oh no.
Okay.
Damn.
Eddie needs his food.
Me too.
Don't go. Roman, can I ask you one question in the meantime? Last time we talked about gyroscope and how often people would actually click on it. Did you check the statistics for that?
Gyroscope?
Sorry?
Hello? You said gyroscope.
Yes, the gyroscope. Last time we talked about the gyroscope usage, for instance, in iOS, it causes this pop-up screen. And you talked all about knowing and statistics. And I was wondering if you had checked how often people actually push the gyroscope button to go into this gimmicky mode.
Yeah, I have to check on my analytics. So on some of my tours, yeah, I can check it and you know.
Well, since you have a lot of tours, you have the information, and I would very much appreciate it. You would share the knowledge.
Yeah, I'll see what can I find about gyroscope. Yeah, in the last 2 weeks, I'm pretty much off the 3DVista. Actually, today I started to work because I had 2 projects to shoot, and now I have to enhance all those photos, 360, 3ds, and put them together. So next week I'm dead.
Okay. Before you die, and you feel like it.
No,
I would
okay.
appreciate if you share it.
Yeah. I'll find what can I find in the statistic what I have on my tours, and yeah, I'll share with you. No problem.
Thanks.
Why you ask that? You have some.
Well, I'm asking because I dislike any additional pop-up, and I think it's a gimmick, but not everybody thinks like me. So I thought you probably have the statistics in there to see it.
Yeah, because every click.
I'm still working on my very first commercial tour. I did a few for free, but I'm trying everything I can think of right now to show what I can do, and I've not reached this analytics part yet. It's not important enough yet to implement, and I was just wondering.
Yeah, what I found with my friends, with direct, kind of reviews and talking about the tours and anything else, I can tell you that most of my friends, which are photographers, they hate the option to have a gyroscope. So they all said that they don't like it. So they like the fixed screen without gyroscope. But this is a direct kind of talking with the friends. But yeah, it's a good question to find out in a statistic.
I think older people might like it because they're easily wowed or amazed by new technology. But it's been in Street View for many years, and I think every additional confirmation and things people need to read before they actually enter the tour takes away part of their willingness to actually look at it.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of a gyroscope, but actually I find it very good when you're alone because it's very, very strange if you're in a coffee shop and starting to roll over your your phone or something like that.
Well, these days people are making pictures with iPads, so that was not done.
Roel, the only thing I ever use the gyroscope is for example is a cardboard box for
VR.
or for VR. That's the only thing,
for VR,
because I really hate the gyroscope option.
By the way, is the gyroscope pop-up message always in English? Does somebody know?
I didn't find any other. Yeah.
Isn't it the language of your phone?
No. It's always in English here.
English.
In the past, it was set as an embedded PNG in the JavaScript code that comes with the TDV player file. That's part of the tour, but I haven't checked it in the last few months. So I was wondering if somebody knows, because you guys never see this message again, of course.
But I don't have the message on my phone. So
it's not only on iOS.
On iOS, you don't have a message.
No, and on Apple devices, you have to approve it, or to in the settings part to specifically say it may be enabled, if I remember correctly, but the average person won't know this and won't do this. So that's why.
Because I have on my one tour now on my phone and I'm refreshing. Maybe it's on my maybe the information is stored in the cookies or something. But now I can switch only with the button, with a menu button. No on the message on the beginning of the tour. So probably it's on the cookies. Yeah, I'll check that also, because now every time I refresh my tour, it's not showing up.
No, it's remembered. Also,
it's remembered. It's remembered.
Some tools try to enforce this landscape mode, But if you're opening a tour in the Facebook app and you don't allow gyroscope use on iOS, you click that away automatically. Next time it won't ask again for permission, so you can never watch this tour. So it's stored in the Facebook app cache. You can properly wipe it, but if somebody automatically clicks no, or then there's no way for the average person to see it again.
Yeah. Also, what I really hate on the iOS is you can't open a tour in a full, in the full screen view on the phone.
It's possible.
Yes, in landscape mode, but only if there's one tab.
Only landscape mode. No, not on the regular.
You can
on the iPad. On the iPad you can. On the iPad you can, but on the phone you can't.
I think when you make an icon on your page, on your how do you say?
Yeah,
you make shortcut. You need to make a shortcut on your.
Yeah, it's here. I can see it on my other devices, but not on the phone.
On the phone, no, it does not work.
Wait, let me try it quickly.
Apple on the iPhone anyway, it does not work.
No. On iPad you can. I have two iPads, the mini and the Pro
iPhone,
and the Pro.
iPhone.
No, I'm saying that on the iPhone you can't. On the iPad you can.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. On the iPad you can. On the iPhone you can't.
Oh yeah.
And I searched a little bit, I did some research, and everywhere I found that it's not possible. Even the 3DVista says it's not possible. Yeah, so
that's what
on the phone.
Can't.
Yeah.
This is what you're saying, oh? You're saying you can't.
You can't on the iPhone.
You can't.
This is what I'm saying as well. Okay, good.
No, but on iPad you can, no problem.
On a tablet, yes, but on the phone it does not work.
No, not work.
Yes,
yeah. So I really hate because it's a lot part of screen actually is usage for the Safari or your browser stuff, so you can open in full screen. Oh, it's really pity. I hope that iOS will do something, and the Apple will do something in the future. Who knows?
Right now, this is the only solution for landscape. That is. Just make sure there's only one tab opened, and if you turn them, it will go full screen. Otherwise, it won't.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's only one tab. Only one tab. If you have more tabs, you can do that.
Yes.
I know.
And the screen aspect ratios of these new phones are very wide. And quite low in this way, so you lose a lot of space for the extra information. So it's not even at full screen. I don't like to use a phone in landscape mode with this aspect ratios.
You know what? In every my future tour, I will disable the landscape mode on the phone. Really, because I think it's much better look on the normal view, not on the landscape, because even on the other phones, I think it's much better view on the regular view than on the landscape. So I think I will disable that option in all my future tours for sure.
Yeah, the problem is you won't get a guided tour.
Yeah.
That's the other part.
No, you could upload an additional tool with guided tour.
Yeah, but then you need to upload an additional one. Did you guys try the guided tour already, by the way?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you also try to show a video on an iOS device with video enabled?
360 video or 2D?
No, just a 2D video. I did it, and on iOS it's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
It's the complete image is it's shocking, and not shockingly good, but it's how do you say?
Yes, stuttering.
Yeah, so it's stuttering. Yeah.
I learned in my life.
Take a video of it, and, of the stuttering, and just send this to like the support team.
I did. They're going to try to make it better, but at the moment it's not good having videos in guided tours for iOS devices.
Have you tried? I don't know what the correct name is, but this live panoramas where somebody comes to life within the panorama itself, and to put a video in there that way.
Yeah, it's stuttering like you now at the moment.
Okay.
But you were stuttering just like the video.
Yes. I was completely smooth here.
No, it was a hotspot video.
Okay.
So when you have a hotspot video and you have you can see your host in the live view, then complete video footage of all three videos is going to stutter. So the live feed is going to stutter and the video hotspot is going to stutter.
Have you tried what happens when you close the thumbnail video?
Yeah, doesn't do anything. That doesn't improve. It doesn't improve the video quality.
Okay. And last but not least, did you try an audio only tour?
No, I didn't try that. I tried it on Android, so we tried it on a tablet, and there it was running smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So there is something in iOS what is making this problem.
Maybe the screen refreshment rate or something.
I need to run down for a second. I need to hit the doorbell.
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah.
Ronald.
Yeah.
Why are you hosting the video on Facebook of this session? What is the reasoning behind it?
To share it on the Facebook as well.
On Facebook, because how will the quality be on Facebook itself when you look there?
Probably put it on YouTube instead, and then put the link to Facebook.
Okay, but because otherwise I could also host it, and you could post the link, and I could put it there full quality.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, sure, I think so. I think would be nice. I don't know.
Because I would like to be able to read all the texts and just easily download it for viewing locally and storing it. Yeah, of course you can do that with YouTube, but
I see. Well, but that's more another thing. Like, actually, if you want to make this Zoom meeting very efficient as well in the information, to find the right information about this current Zoom meeting, then you would need time codes and stamps like that.
And tagging, yeah.
Yeah, and tag it all, and I don't have that much time. But that would be better, and to have like some kind of transcript of everything's being said, and then being able to say like, okay, these are important key points, and say, okay, this is a tag.
Let's go one step at a time.
Oh yes, thank you. Thank
Sometimes.
you. I need people like you, Rule, because sometimes I'm constantly like this. Yeah.
Because otherwise you won't. You will only be busy trying to make some platform that works, but we'll never do something with it.
True.
With some bad luck.
Yeah.
but if you could
send
me the file some way, I will re-encode it so that it can be streamed, and it will have optimal quality and size. So at least we can download and store it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ronald?
One more question while we wait. I've been toying with the idea to offer hosting services to people in the 3DVista group, because I read some complaints about, for instance, those who are hosting with 3DVista were bumping into daily bandwidth limits. Some tools load slow. Other hosting services, there is this people bump into this inode issue, meaning that tools consist of a lot of small files, and on file systems, each file has a certain minimal amount of size. So I'm trying to let some people, or give some people a free account to what I'm working at, and to see how that would be better than other sources. So, for instance, this server can send over 1 gigabyte per second in both directions, and so it's very fast. So I've been using it together with somebody else for 3 companies for 13 years now. And sometimes we upgrade it. So I thought if you could upgrade, if they could optimize this whole thing purely for virtual tools, then it might be interesting.
Definitely.
And I'm curious about what issues or irritating things people encounter when dealing with hosting services for their virtual tools.
For me personally, I'll just start off right off. It's the bandwidth thing. That I don't know, like clients, they want something like, okay, yeah, I just want it always to be available and fast and everything. But this whole bandwidth thing, like, okay, I create a tour, it's 500 MBs, but how much are people actually using, and how many views am I actually getting, and how much is this whole thing going to cost? And you have the bandwidth, well, with 3DVista, it's like 3 times the amount of storage, and then 5 times the amount of storage on peak days, something like that. But I've heard that's not a lot. And then you have these Amazon services things, but then it's getting very unclear, I think. And I think a lot of people have the same thing. Okay, so you have Amazon services and 3DVista hosting, and I can host it myself. And I have providers who claim that they have unlimited bandwidth. When you actually ask them and you tell them your project, they're like, oh yes, but this is not a use case, and this is like not in the fair use policy. So how to find a hosting provider that is very clear in like, okay, this is probably the average use of your viewers and bandwidth, and you will never run out of bandwidth packages because you're paying this and this price, and it's just very clear and to the point like that. So, please shoot.
Wow. How much you want to pay? 30, let's say 30 gigs of space with 50 gigs of the bandwidth, and limited subdomains, all kind of cPanel options. How much money?
Yeah, good question.
70 euro.
Well, I like.
How much?
How much?
How much per year?
70
euros per year.
Yeah.
For the 50 gigs of bandwidth. Yeah, I will take 10 accounts.
No. Okay.
You have that for the 70 euros?
No, I don't have. I'm looking for.
No. Okay. You for the 70. Yeah, forget it.
And this 50 gigabyte of bandwidth will be per month, right?
Yeah.
Or per day? Or what are you talking about?
No, when 50 gigabytes, I'm talking about bandwidth. Let's say if you have 100, let's say, I don't know, 5,000-10,000 users in the same time. I'm talking about bandwidth, in the real time. So how many data the system will provide?
Per second is a lot for a single server, but yes, because what I have right now is a 10 gigabit connection up and downstream. So that's about 1,200 megabytes per second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I because my AirPods was gone with the battery. Sorry, bro. What was it? I lost you for the last 10-15 seconds because my AirPods was out of the battery. Sorry. So what you said something I didn't hear you.
Because what I have available, what I'm working on is 10 gigabit per second. So that's around 1200 megabytes per second up and down. It can handle that. And I'm planning to offer unlimited bandwidth usage. But of course, if there would be some huge events, like let's say somebody
and a virtual
Super Bowl in the USA, and then I probably couldn't offer it. So, but for real estate and things like that, it should be perfectly fine.
So I think that should be very clear. Like, what are the actual borders of things? Like, when you give a package unlimited bandwidth, that always sounds nice, but somehow you just know, like, okay, well, if I'm actually going to put this to the test, I probably have a way to break this thing. So where does it break, basically? I guess. I think.
Well, actually, the speed is not. Yes, everything has limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything can be abused or used,
Yeah.
but I think those limits are way too low on the average offered product plan at a way too high price. So I'm playing around with this, and I want to offer this cheaply. Will also be backers made. People could call me 24 hours a day. Just allow me some time to wake up at sometimes. But yes, that's a good point, because if somebody has the ability to continuously suck out more than a gigabyte per second, that won't go well for long.
Yeah. So I think it doesn't matter to offer that, just to be clear about, instead of all these hosting providers just only showing the shiny parts of their hosting, like, well, this is probably a limit. Just be open and honest about these things. And that would help a lot with the insights to understand what you're buying, I think.
And to use normal human language.
Yeah.
To describe it.
And I think that's really nice if you're specifically in virtual tour hosting, because, well, I guess
that way I could disable things like PHP and all things that could use cause additional server load, and just limit it to virtual tour hosting.
Yeah.
I have one question to you guys. I want to give some of you, those that are interested, some
I don't think
more gigabytes of storage. I don't care, and I want you guys to really test this and to see how this compares to what you are used to. And I'm talking about speeds, etc. And give me all kind of ideas for what you want. For instance, do you prefer a sort of randomized URL for the tour, or do you want to have Ronald's awesome tour dot whatever the hosting name is?
Who doesn't?
For now, I'm using vthosting.net, virtual tour hosting. I had to think of something. But how important are subdomains? So you can have ronald.vthosting.net, even though people will not see a link usually when visiting a virtual tour.
I think subdomains are really...
yes, subdomains.
Yeah, we need subdomains.
Yes.
I'm giving my customers subdomain so that the first, in the URL, the first name after HTTPS is their name, the domain name, or whatever they want. And then an extension is my 360virtualwalk.com. So they will see their domain name, and that's the perfect Xander actually. I think.
So you want? Sorry. But you're hosting it yourself or not?
Yes, my hosting is myself. Okay. Actually, I have a friend. I work with. We're doing some cooperation with. It's a big company. They have a hosting service, the big hosting service. So I can manage any kind of server I want. and we're just testing something for my purposes for my clients to see how it's going. So that's why I said to Ronald, how much do you want to pay, so we can test, and we can open one account for him and to see how much, you know, how it works.
Yeah.
And anything I want extra something, or unlimited subdomain names, or better speed, or I don't know, or VPL or VPS, whatever, we can manage, because it's not kind of company online and you sending tickets and emails. I can talk with the guys directly, and you know, you can talk with the guys directly. That's it. So if you want to try, or if you want to do some kind of contact with my guys, yeah, we can do it. Problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, for me, this specific project that I was needing it for, I kind of like undid it. I'm not interested, or I backed out of this project. But still, it's a question that's going to come back for the future. So yeah.
No, if you want to try, let's say if you have a tour, you want to test, I can put in my host and hosting, so I can put in some domain name, and you can test to see the speed and anything you want. So no problem.
Okay.
My question actually was, do you, in this case to Roman, do you give every person who you make a virtual tool for their own subdomain?
Yeah.
So when assuming you weren't hosting yourself, would you also want to have every virtual tour at a specific subdomain of their own to keep the URL short?
No, let's say, yeah, it's a good question. I have one company now I work on a tour. It's kind of clinic. And actually we have to build 4 tours, because it's a different places, not in one place. So one place is a kind of robotics, one place is a pool, one place is a spa, one place is a whatever. So I'll put them in the same subdomain name, but on the end / which folder I use for that specific tour, that will have a name, like a spa, like a pool, like a, you know, robotics or whatever. So, but the subdomain actually will be in the URL will show first, then my domain name, which I have hosting on that name, and then / extension, actually the folder where is the tour.
That's in case of 4 tours for the same company.
Yeah, I can build it 10 tours for the same subdomain, because I can put in the subfolders in the cPanel, no problem.
Okay. Well, if so, in my case, because we're talking about some similar things, those who would want to try, I would give them in the coming days at least 10 gigabytes of storage. I don't care, and I would like to test some things and see what things you would like to. How do you say that? How it compares to what you're used to as far as speed goes, etc. Possibilities you would like, which aren't offered right now. And yeah, well, in that case, I would contact you in a few days. And well, cool. I would gain some knowledge, and
you provide the support.
I would be providing support in that case, yes. But
cool.
I'm providing support all the time for many days, for more than 10 years with software products.
24/7.
I'm just not reachable by phone normally.
But WhatsApp, that's no problem.
Oh, I will send my email address in the chat list.
Yeah,
and anybody who might be interested, send me an email.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Nice.
I was just looking at my provider. I used Antagonist. I don't know if you know it.
Antagonist, yeah.
They have. I still have an account there, but I have unlimited bandwidth and unlimited storage.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Wow.
Yeah, it cost me 150 euros a year, but I just saw that they changed it. The same package is now 50 gigabytes, of storage and 2 terabyte of bandwidth.
Okay, 2 terabyte. What bandwidth?
I don't know. I don't know.
About?
Oh wait, here is it. 2 terabytes.
Per week, month, day, second.
Doesn't say.
Yeah. Okay, that's probably total amount of bandwidth.
A month.
Maybe per year or per month. I don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't give any
extra.
No, doesn't say it.
Some years ago, you used this Amazon Cloud service, and it was unlimited storage until I passed about 15 terabytes of storage, and the rules changed. So
yeah, I think I'm now at 100 gigabytes of tours what I stored there. So it's not extremely much, but the unlimited bandwidth and the unlimited storage is. I don't hope they will change my package. For now.
Yeah.
For now, it works.
For now, it still works.
That's good.
But they don't offer any unlimited storage anymore.
Ronald, I need to go. Contact me whenever you have the video ready, and I will put it somewhere where you can link to. You can also put it on YouTube, but I prefer that people can simply download it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
for that.
And don't mess with making it smaller. I have quite a bit of experience in encoding videos.
Okay.
And
then it would only be
to have the good quality. Okay. Bye for now. Until next time.
Bye. Bye. Yeah. I have to go, guys, too. And yeah, nice was meeting you guys. And Ronald, the next meeting is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Any suggestions for subjects?
For subjects, yeah, we'll talk in a Slack or whatever. I just open account and a tribe. So anywhere. So you moving it Slack to tribe or the Slack will stay?
I have a gut feeling that the Slack is going to be dead anytime soon, but I don't know yet. I mean,
okay, we'll see.
It kind of like depends. If people are saying like, oh no, it's really useful or whatever, then
keep it for the moment, Ronald. Keep the Slack for the moment.
Yeah, I think
it's going.
I think it's better to just keep that indeed.
Yeah, keep it and see if suddenly the people are going only on the other one.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
How big is the Slack community at the moment?
Over 50 people now.
Yeah.
I think 70 or something.
Is there a lot of data in it at the moment?
And I can copy paste the data into a tribe as well. So
yeah, so maybe it's easier to have one good community.
Yeah.
Instead of splitting. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. So that's why I would probably eventually get rid of Slack.
Yeah, but when we're sure that the other one works.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that for? What is about the app? Did you find some app for the tribe or just?
Yeah. So I still have to figure out how it exactly works, but you can.
Yeah, if you find just.
And then it will be like some kind of like web app kind of thing, just like a 3DVista tour. If you download the virtual tour, it will also create like an icon on your phone, and then it creates this dedicated app on your home screen. And the same thing applies to this tribe thing. I figured out so far, but I'm not sure if there's better possibilities to put this in Play stores. I've read some documents about it that it's possible.
If you find something useful, just kind of Okay, guys.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I got to go as well, Ronald. See you.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Can you share the Zoom link?
Yes, to look this back, you mean?
Yeah, this would be great. Oh yeah, and the Slack, your Slack account you managed, because I didn't see how can I enter to the Slack.
Oh,
so
let's see.
Would like to take a look at.
Yeah.
This would be great. So
what's your email address? Or wait, I can also.
Well, yeah, I can send you.
Yeah.
Just here, go to chat. Okay.
Invite people. Oh yeah, I can also grab a link.
Okay.
Yeah, with this link you can just join the Slack. It's
Okay. Just okay. Fantastic. Yeah, great.
Yes.
So I can do this. So I have to put in my email address in the Slack user group.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Oh yeah, I have to. Okay, I see here. So let's try this. Okay. Yep. Okay. Now this will send me an email. Okay, and then I can get the invitation. Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And also thank you. I was just listening today because here I'm on a construction site, so it's a bit too loud to, to have my microphone on. So, but I was listening, and you know, I really appreciate your hard work and what you do for the community. So thank you very much for this. It's really great.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to hear.
So hear you soon, and I will check out your your database.
Yeah.
And let's stay in contact. So thank you.
Very nice. Okay.
Have a great weekend. Okay, bye-bye.